Oh, Donna Cade. Well, yeah, I have a lot to differ with in that statement you made, um, and yet I could do so by agreeing with the first one because the first thing, this idea that if it appears that we have agency, then that's all that matters. I agree. If it appears that way, then we don't have to pursue the question any further. So I guess we have to pursue the question of, does it appear that way? And we're back to where we are now. And on the side of, it's not of any use to study quantum mechanics if you're not going to apply it. Well, that's funny considering, I mean, what do you mean apply it? And you said, well, you open up that maybe the research itself is the application. Well, here's the thing, if learning something is only useful, and I'll say why it is generally useful in a second, but if learning something is only useful when you apply it, then it's only worth doing if you apply it well or successfully, right? If you learn it and try to apply it and don't apply it successfully, then that also was worthless. So to know if something is worthless, you have to be able to tell the future, which you can't. So, obviously the benefit of learning things is the potential to use them. And when you study physics, you take a physics lab, you run the Michelson-Morley experiment, and you're one of the people that it has appeared to. And if out of 100 people, maybe one of them's going to think of something clever to do next, then all 100 of you had to try. So that is also a benefit because you're an animal in a society and a culture and with your genetic relations and this is one of our techniques of surviving, is that we all try things and one of us might pull off a success. But in reality, the reason it's generally useful to study these other areas is because of the metaphors they provide. You have to build some abstraction. I mean, even if it's a sport or whatever you want to follow, you have to create a model for it. And the more models you create, the better you become at modeling. And you do modeling in all of your thinking. So, of course, it can't help but be applied. Anything you think about can't help but be applied. And this is one of the problems with vices that we have sometimes. The and I don't mean physical ones, but mental vices that are not necessarily good for us because we can't balance out and make a productive personal use for them, but we enjoy them. But that's the exception to a general fact that anything that you learn, you're going to make use of. And it's just sometimes you get a little toolkit, you're watching a show, it has a bad influence on you, or I know a guy, several people actually saying, I was playing Grand Theft Auto and I got pulled over by a cop, I had the urge to run, and they knew better. Some people might be borderline and really shouldn't do that, but because you will use the toolkit in other parts of your life. And specifically in quantum mechanics, it's fundamental that we all learn that because we all use the idea of cause and effect, and it needs a major overhaul. And the most clear overhaul we can see is in quantum mechanics and relativity. They both require alterations to our idea of cause and effect and simultaneity and time itself.